The Life Changer by Khadija Abubakar Jali. Chapter 1. They were waiting for Daddy. We were. I paused outside their door. The laughter was cheerful. It was also infectious. It began as a silent chuckle, then slowly it turned into a mirthful but stilted giggle. Now, it had finally transformed into a full-fledged chuckle. I stopped a while to listen. My plan was not to eavesdrop. God forbid that I should be that kind of mother who surreptitiously listened on our children's private conversation. But there was something about the laughter that was compelling and arresting. Bint, my 5-year-old daughter, appeared to be the narrative voice. She was telling her two sisters the story of a classroom encounter with their meddlesome social studies teacher the previous week. The narration was so vivid you could actually visualize what transpired. The teacher believed he knew a little bit about every subject under the sun, especially French, which most of the students found strange. Bint herself was new in the school. French was an optional subject even at this level of primary school education. We, however, encourage her to take the option since we believe that language acquisition at an early age came relatively easy and with minimal effort. And in any case, French was second to English in the ranking of international languages, we reckoned. So it was that the first question the teacher asked was, who can tell me how to say good morning in French? Everybody was silent in the classroom. You mean none of you knows how to say good morning in French? Hesitatingly, not without trepidation, Bint raised her hand. Yes, he pointed at her. Slowly, she stood up. What's your name? The teacher asked. My name is Bint. So, tell us, Bint, how do you say good morning in French? Bonjour, Bint said. That's very good, the teacher said, speaking English. And how do you say that's very good in French, teacher? Bint asked innocently. What? The teacher jerked his head off as if stung by a bee. Then, within a flash, he bolted out of the classroom only to come back a few minutes later with the French mistress of the senior classes. Ask her, he told Bint simply. How do you say that's very good in French, Auntie? Bint asked reverentially. C'est très bien, the French mistress replied. C'est très bien, Bint repeated confidently. The class began clapping and laughing at the same time. The class teacher followed the French mistress out and didn't come back till after break. Meanwhile, the whole class as one surrounded Bint and started clapping and singing, going around her in cheer and joy. They seemed to have known instinctively that Bint was destined for bigger things. Who else but a genius would ask a question the teacher could not answer? I got them. I really got them, Bint was saying excitedly to her siblings. I found myself laughing silently. Before I got carried away, I let myself unobtrusively into the room. They were used to my impromptu barge in. One reason I used to go in unannounced was to keep them on their toes where issues of personal hygiene were concerned. The second reason was that we were used to keeping each other company. This formed the rationale for my periodic checking of their room to ensure that they learn the basic norms of maintaining the cleanliness of their room at an early age and to get used to my presence. My own grandmother used to tell us when we were young that what you teach a child is like writing on a rock, and when dried, it would be difficult to erase. I saw them miss an opportunity to make them see the lesson in an experience. They learned to respect my opinion over most of their matters, and I tried not to be unnecessarily dictating when it comes to correction or giving instructions. This cemented our mutual trust. I am so proud of you, Bint, I said as I wedged myself between Bint and Jamila, our immediate elder sister. They were all seated by the edge of the bed and looked up at me as if my intrusion had all along been anticipated. Thank you, Mommy, Ben said as she nestled even closer to me. She was my last child and consequently the darling of the entire family. My first child was Omar. He was the first child and only male. Between Omar and Bent, there is such great affinity that no one dare frown at her intransigence, no matter how great, if he was around. And all of them called me Mummy. They didn't call me Mama, a title every child in my community used for their mother. They couldn't call me Umi, which was my name at home, which incidentally also meant Mummy. It actually translated to my mother in Arabic because I was named after my paternal grandmother. So I was Umi to everybody else and Mommy to my children and their friends, except Omar, who insisted on calling me Mom. I was never particular about how I was addressed. What I always insisted was respect for each other and for one another. Listen, young gals, all Malam Salihu was trying to do was to practice his French, thereby trying to perfect it. You should give him a break. Moreover, he is humble enough to accept that he does not know. Another teacher would frown his face and tell you au revoir means welcome whether you like it or not. Your knowledge to the contrary would mean nothing to him. But au revoir means goodbye until we meet again, Mommy. Bint was quick to point out. I know, my dear, but if the teacher is angry, he can tell you any word means whatever he wants it to mean. That would be unfair, or that would not be fair, of course. And that will be all on chapter 1 for now.